Moving along this week here, Sam Belkis is joining us on the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. We got to get into our gooses. Got to get into our
Uh-oh.
gooses of the week, Sam. We're gonna
Do
start
the
off.
honking sound effect.
Oh yeah, it'll be in there. We got to start. We had 4 people in our league that accounted for some gooses. We're gonna start with oh yeah, we're gonna start with Zach. We're gonna start with our buddy Zach, who's been on this podcast a handful of times. I hate to say it, but Aaron Rodgers goosed. Okay, he started Aaron Rodgers. You know, it sucks that he only played 4 snaps and ripped the shit out of that Achilles. But Zach, you started him, got you a goose. Moving down to the wide receiver position for you, Zach. We got another goose. T. Higgins. T. Higgins, a top 15 receiver for everybody, closer to my top 10 than 15. He had 8 targets, Sam. What do you think about that? 8 targets and a goose.
I think with the Gooses, context is very important. So Aaron Rodgers tears his Achilles after 4 snaps. T. Higgins was fine. He played the whole game. 8 targets. I think that says more about T. Higgins than Joe Burrow or the situation or the game script. Got to catch those balls, man. Yikes.
I'll also throw in it was a nasty weather game there. It was nasty, but you're getting 8 targets. You better pull a couple down, T. Jeez. And lastly, for Zach, we got a triple goosey here, Sam. We got a triple goosey for Zach in week 1. The Dolphins defense gave him -1. The Dolphins defense special teams gave him -1 in that juicy game of the week. Zach, you're a current goose leader here. You're the king of the goose crew. Triple goosey in week 1. You better wake up.
So breezy. I'm just pouring over my research here. He has and started 3 players that got 0 points, correct?
Correct.
And he still won.
And he still won. It's freaking ridiculous because he's got Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, and Aaron Jones.
Mm-hmm.
He's got those 3 guys. He that's why. That's why he won.
He's got a good team, but does that say more about Jack, who he played, couldn't beat somebody who had a triple goosey?
Jack, I believe he is in the Queef poll, and just to move into him, he also had a goose himself. I think it might say a little bit about Jack too. He did lose J.K. Dobbins. Okay, he did lose
Yeah,
J.K.
that's
But
tough.
Jack had a goose from Drake London. Sam, the number 1 receiver for the Atlanta Falcons, had 1 target. 1 target on Sunday. Oh my.
Listen here. I saw it in mock drafts. I saw it in some of the drafts I was in. People were going way too high on Drake London. Look, I know he's in this category of sophomore receivers. That's when they take the leap. I was targeting a couple of sophomore receivers myself, but not Drake London. The only people in the Falcons offense that I want a piece of, Tyler Algier, Bijan Robinson, it's that run game. I don't want any Kyle Pitts. I don't want any Drake London. I mean, Desmond Ritter threw what, 18 passes
I
or
believe
something like
18
that?
passes, yeah.
No thanks, boys. No thank you.
Uh, I think they won by 2 touchdowns. So the game script was for them to run the ball, but they want to run the ball even when they're losing. So if you got Drake London as your wide receiver 2 right now, you better be nervous, Jack. Moving along in our goose section here, we got my wife Kelly. She got goosed by her tight end, Dallas Goostert of the Philadelphia Eagles. Another, we're always going to have our tight ends in this section, Sam,
Yeah.
and I know Dallas Goostert was available for trade this week. What do you think about him going forward in Philadelphia?
Thought he was an Eagle, but it turns out he's just a dirty old goose. Um, yeah, so
Dirty old
Kelly is
goose.
definitely Kelly is definitely up for preseason queef of the year. He did not log in a couple of days before the
Oh,
draft, a week before the draft, even a few
oh,
hours before the draft. He
oh.
waited right up to the last second, couldn't
You
log
saw her.
in,
You saw her.
and her entire team got auto drafted. And it goes off of rank. Couldn't even go in to put in a queue to like what position she would want it to draft for her. She ended up with like 8 wide receivers and 3 tight ends.
And 2 running
And so
backs.
yeah, and 2 running backs. So she's been busy on the waiver wire. She's been hitting people up for trades. I told her, look, I don't have a good, strong, like top tier tight end. I'll trade you. And so I know she's not going to get rid of Travis Kelsey. So I see Dallas Goddard sitting on her team. Preseason fantasy wise, he's top 5, top 10. We had a few back and forth, but you don't know what's going to happen. This was before week 1, so I didn't go through with a trade with her. And maybe it's a good thing that I didn't. Maybe I could scoop somebody up off the waiver wire that will be better than Dallas Goose.
Maybe. If my memory serves me right, last season, 2022 season, week 1, Devontae Smith might have had a goose, and he ended up being the top 10 receiver. So, week 1 overreactions, we can't get crazy about week 1 wonders and all that. Our last goose on the week, coming from right here on the Don't Tell Mama Sports podcast, it's Sam Belkis, and I feel partly responsible for this, Sam.
Oh, do you? Oh,
It,
do you?
because I've hyped him up. He was my sleeper in the AFC South. It's Tennessee Titans tight end, Chig Okonkwo. Sam, he goosed you, and you dropped him pretty quick.
Yeah, I do. I'm a fan. I do watch this podcast. I do listen to your takes, but I make my own decisions and have my own takes. And I like Chig Okonkwo too. He did some good things last year. Had a good off season. He's healthy. Could be a sleeper, and he might still be. But Titans are kind of along the same lines as a Falcons team. They like to run the ball a lot. Yeah, Tannehill makes you a little nervous. So yeah, I just think there are better options on the waiver wire. And if maybe Tig has a great game a couple weeks from now, maybe I might try and scoop him back up. But yeah, dropped him pretty quick. Can't be having gooses on my team. I don't want to be the back to back to back tweet.
Yeah, you got to have a short leash with some of those guys. Got to have a short trigger, quick trigger. Um, but yeah, Ryan Tannequeef thrown 3 interceptions on the road, only lost by 1. Now that's impressive. Still only losing by 1 on the road when your quarterback throws 3 picks. But damn it, if he's going to keep that up, you can't have Treylon Burks, you can't have D Hop, you can't have anybody on the Titans besides Derrick Henry, the king.